welcome to yet another episode of Page 3 here at News 9 with me, Sakshi Singh Litoria. We've got an action-packed episode ready for you. So without any further ado, let me take you through our first segment of Nostalgia Nuggets. Today, we will be speaking about the completion of 38 years of the iconic film of Anil Kapoor, Mr. India. As Mr. India completed 38 years since its release back in the year of 1987, it stands tall as one of the Indian cinema's most imaginative, beloved and culturally iconic films. What many might know is that the lead role of Arun Verma, the man who turns invisible to fight injustice, was originally offered to none other than the Amitabh Bachchan. Due to scheduling issues though, Big B could not take it up and the role eventually went to Anil Kapoor, who has since called it one of the most defining performances of his career. Opposite him was the indomitable Sridevi, who dazzled with her comic genius in the unforgettable Charlie Chaplin casino sequence, a scene that was mostly unscripted and also allowed her to completely improvise. Shekhar Kapur, the director, simply gave her the mood, and what followed, you all know, was pure gold, showcasing her unmatched versatility even till date. The film's villain, Mogambo, played by the legendary Amrish Puri, became an instant pop culture phenomena with his spine-chilling catchphrase, Mogambo khush hua. Interestingly, that line was inspired by real-life military inspection drills, which writer Javed Akhtar cleverly turned into a dramatic flourish. Puri's uniform, secret lair, and also larger-than-life persona was heavily inspired by Bond villains, making him both terrifying at the same time theatrical. Despite its superhero-style premise, Mr. India was made long before Indian cinema embraced science fiction on a broader scale. The invisibility device was in fact a technical marvel for its time, with no CGI or modern VFX at all, and instead relied on old-school camera tricks, optical printing and mirror setups to create that illusion kind of structure. The film was a big budget gamble, of course, and halfway through production, director Shekhar Kapur exited the project as well. The final film was completed under the watchful eyes of producer Boney Kapoor and editor Shyam Ramsey, though Kapoor retained directorial credit of it. One of the film's most iconic moments, the romantic number Kaate Nahin Katte featuring Sridevi in a wet blue hot sari, was nearly edited out from the film. Do you know that? Considered too bold at the time. Ironically, it went on to become one of the most iconic romantic visuals in Bollywood's history, cementing Sridevi's status as both a powerhouse performer as well as a glam icon. Not many fans realize that in the climax, Anil Kapoor's face is barely visible, the result of last-minute editing, reshoots, and in some places a body double filling in due to, of course, the time constraints. In the years that followed, Mr. India developed a cult following, and talks of a sequel, tentatively titled as Mr. India 2, have surfaced multiple times. You have seen the headlines time and again. In the early 2000s, a continuation featuring Anil Kapoor and Sridevi was in fact conceptualized, but then eventually shelved. Later, a reboot was announced by director Ali Abbas Zafar, which again ran into creative and legal challenges. Despite no sequel materializing, the legacy of Mr. India still remains untouched. It was not just a film, it was a movement, a perfect blend of sci-fi, emotion, humor, music, and memorable performances that still resonates across generations. Even today, the thought of an invisible man using his powers not for fame or revenge, but simply to protect orphan kids and also fight tyranny feels refreshingly noble to us. In a world filled with high-tech superheroes and heavy-duty CGI, Mr. India continues to shine, a story driven not only by technology, but by heart and by feelings. Time for our second segment, Popcorn Pick of the Week. This time around, we are suggesting you to watch Final Destination Bloodlines, still in the theatres. Rush up, hurry up, book up your tickets and go to the theatres. So it's a chilling comeback rooted in legacy. After more than a decade away, the Final Destination franchise returns with Bloodlines. And it's not just back for nostalgia. The sixth installment digs into the eerie mythos of death's design with more depth, style and emotion than we have seen in any of the previous films. It's not just about dodging fate anymore. It's about understanding why it hunts you in the first place. The film cleverly opens in the 1960s, breaking away from the modern setting we have grown used to, with a lavish, old-world premonition sequence involving a skywalk collapse. This retro disaster sets the tone for the rest of the film, bold, cinematic, and more grounded in human connection. From there, we then jump to the present, where we meet Stephanie Reyes, a medical student whose life is basically entangled in the mystery of her family's tragic past. Played with surprising emotional nuance by Caitlin Santa-Joana, Stephanie is not just a screen queen. She's a young woman searching for answers in a web of inherited doom. Where Bloodlines excels is in its reimagining of the franchise's formula. Yes, there are still the signature elaborate death scenes, and they are as brutal, iconic, and creative as ever. Whether it's a seemingly innocent MRI scan turning deadly or a misplaced gardening tool becoming a fatal weapon, the kills are meticulously crafted and also satisfyingly shocking. But there's also a new maturity in how the deaths are actually handled in this one. The film leans more into dread than jump scares, letting the audience feel the tension simmer before things actually finally snap. Another highlight is the return of Tony Todd as the mysterious William Bloodworth, whose presence has always been a fan favorite. My favorite, of course. Here, he is given a more reflective arc, almost poetic in his final monologue about fate and the futility of trying to cheat death. Not much of the spoiler alerts here. It's a farewell, if it truly is, that honors his eerie gravitas while tying into the film's more emotional undercurrent. Directors Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein bring a crisp, modern visual style to the franchise without losing the grim tone that makes Final Destination what Final Destination actually is. There's a clear effort to honor the rules of the original while expanding the universe, of course. The idea of Bloodlines add a fresh, almost supernatural layer to what has always been a physics meets fate premise. What's most refreshing is that Bloodlines does not try to reinvent the wheel. It sharpens the spokes. The pacing is tighter, the characters feel more real, not just body count placeholders, of course, and the film does not rely solely on shock value. There's a surprising sense of loss and inevitability that lingers after the credit roll. A reminder that this series has always been more than just gory Rube Goldberg machines of death. It's about the thin line between surviving and also simply being the next. In the end, Final Destination Bloodlines is a stylish, smartly executed resurrection of a beloved horror concept. It delivers the thrills that fans crave, but also with added heart, history, and a sense of closure that elevates it above just being another sequel. Whether you are a franchise faithful or new to the game, this one is worth watching. Just do not get too comfortable. I'm telling you, death still does not like to be cheated. It's time for the entertainment wrap of the week, where we bring you the biggest entertaining headlines from the nation and across the globe. Let's take a look at that as well. Speculation is rife about a budding relationship between Tara Sutaria and Veer Pahadia. Sources suggest they have been dating for a few months, though neither has confirmed the news at the moment. Following Deepika Padukone's departure from Sandeep Reddy Vanga's upcoming film Spirit, Tripti Dimri has stepped in, reportedly securing her highest paycheck ever. Vanga indirectly called out quote-unquote dirty PR games in a furious ex-post. Jennifer Lopez dazzled as the host of 2025's American Music Awards in Las Vegas. Actor Zachary Levi alleges he's been blacklisted in Hollywood due to his support for President Donald Trump, stating that some industry professionals are unwilling to work with him because of his political stance. Bella Ramsey, star of The Last of Us, opened up about their journey as a non-binary autistic actor, discussing the challenges and also the growth experienced in the spotlight. Chinese tech giant Tencent has acquired 9.7% stake in South Korea's SM Entertainment from Hybe for approximately $177 million, signaling a potential easing of China's restrictions on Korean pop culture. BTS's member Jin released his second solo mini album Echo, featuring the lead track Don't Say You Love Me, exploring themes of reflection and also memory. Two trespassing attempts made at actor Salman Khan's residence, intruders under custody for further investigation. HBO announces the cast for much-awaited Harry Potter series. Dominic McLaughlin will play the role of Harry Potter, Arabella Stanton is Hermione Granger, and a last test out is the new Ron Weasley. Raja Kumari makes history as first Indian origin singer to win at AMAs in 2025. And for crispy chats of the week, this time we sat down with the cast of Pune Highway. Yes, a mystery thriller for your next watch. Do check out this conversation that we had with them. So Rahul, Bugs, Amit, thank you so much for speaking to Page 3 here at News 9. Pune Highway finally coming up. Rahul, let me begin with you because I've been waiting for the film since last year. Why the delay happened, I really want to know from you.
There was no delay. We were always we premiered a Diffie in Goa in 2024. So there was no delay as such. It's just that we did spend a lot of time on the post-production, because the decision also to go into cinemas. So that was a little bit of a shift where we planned it to be on smaller screens. But as we've discovered over the last 6-8 months, the moment that gap between an OTT release and a cinema release is a huge shift, because your sound becomes different and I've seen now the last 2-3 months, the publicity is at another scale. So it's not, we weren't delayed so much as I think just trying to make sure that we dot all the I's and cross all the T's, so that when you are ready for a big release, it's a different ballgame, man.
Bugs, we have tasted the thunder. Quick trivia, because you are the man behind that iconic tagline for Thumbs Up, Taste the Thunder. So, like I said, we have already tasted the thunder. Is it the time to taste the thriller?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, this is an interesting conundrum and a kind of like we keep telling each other, we want to put a detective in every seat. Every person who buys a ticket and comes and sits in that cinema will willy-nilly become a detective, because the conundrum is very clear. There are friends in Bombay who grew up in a building. There's an unknown dead body 140 kilometers away. And how does it affect their lives? So that's the big. So Rahul and I love puzzles, and Amit is a great, unraveler of puzzles. So here we are.
Amit, we have seen you in a triangular friendship in the past during Kai Poche. This time around, you are again stuck in a triangular friendship. Each of the friends left to script their own journey. How is this one going to be different from that one? As an actor also, how have you grown from that instance to this one?
So this is a tricky one. There's a difference, and yet I've been saying that I have this Kai Poche feeling with Pune Highway from day one. But that predominantly is for the ethics and the atmosphere Bugs and Rahul sir have set. Just the intent and the integrity in which we went about to make this film. One of the amazing features of this script, of this film, which attracts me and which I find is so incredible and attractive, is it's a story of coming of age, it's a story of friendship, it's a story of friendship that flourishes on a terrace, and it's a whodunit.
Oh, yes.
So it's like when these things, a whodunit can be a thriller. When a whodunit or when a murder mystery kind of goes through such deep-rooted friendships and relationships, I think for me, that is very intriguing, as a genre, as a script. So, yeah, so that's the difference between Kai Poche and Pune Highway for me.
Interesting. Rahul, from a successful advertisements to full-fledged mysterious movies, from witty takes and also satirical takes about the current affairs to having a full-fledged movie, How has the things been, and how do you exactly put your perspective across while you are scripting down, in fact, working on a full-fledged project?
Oh boy, how much time have you got?
I've got the entire day for you, don't worry. I'm enjoying this.
I thought about this a lot, and Bugs and I, because we come from advertising,
Yes.
the some of the things it is my first film, and there's no question that it's a remarkably difficult process because there are so many aspects to it. But when you come down to the final thing, what we're going to come down to next Friday, which is something I do every day of my life, is how is your audience going to respond to you? That's all. I mean, every Amal hoarding we do is reaching out to that one motorist who's passing by, or that one kid on a phone who's strolling down. He needs to get my message in a second, because if he doesn't get it, he's gone by. Even in the movie business, why should somebody come to the cinema house? And it's the same principle that you need something to get his attention, and you need something to get him to come. Like the way you expect somebody to buy your product, you're expecting somebody to come to your movie. Work, the rigor, I feel, the rigor required to change an attitude, to create an interest, to get somebody to buy what you have to offer is, I think, in some ways the same, because you have to create a benefit. You got to create a feature. Why should I come to your movie? Why should I buy a product? And if you don't have a USP, I think you're not likely to have somebody buy a product or come and see your film.
Interesting. Bugs, you were one of the teachers from Tare Zameen Par. By the way, just have to quickly ask you, how's those drawing skills working out for you? Have you worked on your painting lately?
I fail every exam. I haven't failed at all. So, unlike Isham, who was a genius, I was not.
So this is something that I would really like to ask you, because you have also played part in front of the camera. So when you are behind the camera, when you are directing your actors, does the skill in front of the camera actually help you from behind the camera also? That perspective does help you out?
Yes, it tells you what not to tell your actor.
Okay, that's really interesting.
I'm very interested in this answer.
The relationship between a director and an actor is obviously, I mean, we've heard it a million times, it's of trust. So with every instruction you give them, you're telling them how little you trust them. So you've got to give them it's a conversation, and you've got to listen as much as you talk, and then go and do the scene. So I think being an actor helped me understand, sift through. Rahul used to direct me in the stage, and he was similar. Like we talk. He never told me, move, put your hand up here, raise your eyebrow, nothing. You perform from inside. So the conversations is not for the mask that we wear, it's for the heart that you bring to the performance. So I think that is what, I think I kind of learned. And I don't know, Amit has to tell us that, whether that's how it works or not.
So, Amit, because both of these two men, they come from the advertising agency in the past. They come from that advertising background, but you have worked with other directors in the past as well. Is their working pattern any different from those directors that you have worked with in the past? Are they slightly different? Are they more wittier? Because we have the man behind Amul, we have the man behind Taste the Thunder. So are they a bit fun and bit easy as directors, because they are allowing you to take as much creative liberty as possible?
Yeah, my check is paid.
So I am very aware. You have to be very aware where you are. Where I'm sitting in between of 100 years of genius. So I'm very aware of that. And Bugs has already directed me.
Yes, I'm aware.
And I think there's a lot of similarity between Rahul sir and Bugs. Again, like we can say, craft, their experience, their wisdom, their passion. So I won't go into details there. for me, I would just say, oh, these people like this, they spoil you. And I'm not undermining the movies that I've had. I've had good directors. I've had a lot of support from directors. But I just feel that how they spoil you. They give you wings. They trust you. The ownership they give you on your character. Despite of this being a play, despite of them being writers, despite of what, because the ownership that they have, the connect that they have with the writing is much more than of a script, because this was a successful play. Then this becomes a film. And still to come and say that, go make it your own, go make it your own. And that leeway, that trust, that that ownership as an actor is it's that, that is something which when you get used to it, we get accustomed, we get used to these things. And I tell them, as you spoiled us. So yeah, I mean they are very incredible. They're just incredible people. They are very incredible with their craft, with their art. They are very and I love the guts they have. And I want to say this to them. We don't get so much time to say these things to them. We can say these things to them on interviews, because you can't walk up to Rahul's office. Hey, I love your guts, by the way. What I mean? But in an interview you can, but just the guts they have and the belief they have in the story they want to tell. So yeah.
Rahul, I really want to ask you that nowadays we have seen a lot of filmmakers also, saying, even I have interviewed a lot of filmmakers, I have interviewed a lot of actors, they've been telling me, and this is the constant complaint, that you really don't know that what content will exactly work and land well with the audiences. You are so unsure about a project that you've been working on for so many years. Sometimes you have a great ensemble cast, also some of the biggest faces, but the film doesn't really work out that well. But there are some movies that come in like a dark horse. According to you, as per the changing times, what exactly is working with the audience? Because we have got access to a lot of content there at the OTT platforms. We've been watching French films, we've been watching Korean dramas. We have started judging content, comparing it with the other, how do I say, the other countries who have very different geography than us, very different features than us. What exactly is working with the Indian audience, according to you?
It's a very hard question. It's a very, and I'm saying, Bugs and I talk about this every single day, and people think the day we decided to take this big, I was told, and I'm still being told, are you mad? There's a look on people's face that, how much money do you have in the bank? And I make a joke, I wear short pants all the time, I can't afford to buy long pants, right? But, it sounds like a cliche, I feel, but an audience can smell, they can smell disingenuity a mile off. They can smell the lack of rigor a mile off. They know in a second that this is a pale shadow of a South film. They can tell in a second that this is just a badly written sequel. They'll pick it up and they will not come to you. So your second question is a difficult one. The dark horses are tough to pick because you don't know what aspect of that film has resonated with. And I'm not always sure the filmmaker knows what aspect of his dark story has appealed to somebody, And when people are saying that cinema going seems to have dropped, I don't get it, because I think it's really got to do with people, because they've got so spoiled by content that is good sitting on their couch and watching. They're saying you better be as good in the cinema house. There's a word that I learned while you were making this film, which is called a project. And project as opposed to passion, project as opposed to filmmaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Have a lovely day.
And that's all for this episode of Page 3 here at Newsnight. Do stay tuned. We will come back with much more drama, much more entertainment next week. Till then, ciao.